Hi, y'all. I'm back. I told you I was coming back in a little while. I had to take care of some things and then I was going to come back. So let's have a discussion, Kitty, no, about the moon. Yes, Kitty, I know. Um, my precious baby. So I put up a website so that I could have some type of reference and, while talking about the moon. A lot of people believe that it is has been brought here. It is a satellite. It is hollow. Kitty, no. And that it's in the perfect position at the perfect distance away from the earth and the sun to create being the same size as the sun as well as the earth when it crosses, for the eclipse in order to have seasons. Without being in that position, there would be no seasons on earth. Okay. So, and also there was recorded history or stories told saying before Earth had a moon. So that's also in a lot of writings and old stories. So I think even Michael Jackson had a song called Scared of the Moon. Um, and that's kind of telling, when you're afraid of the moon, what's to be afraid of? So the cat just wants to be up here. I don't know. So, there have been lots of studies on the moon, about the moon, and it's just too coincidental for it to be natural. You know what I mean? Um, so they have done tests, and the tests have come back to show that the moon is hollow. Okay. So that's one indicator. Another indicator is that there are people speaking out about seeing objects on the moon flying. Why do we never see the dark side of the moon? What's over there? Blah, 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 blah. So, you know, that's what we're discussing. Yeah, I feel like it is a satellite. And, without it, we're unable to have seasons or tides or things like that. So it would probably be less comfortable on Earth. And it's more beneficial than it is anything else. So I believe it was put here because if you think about it, what we're trying to do with Mars right now is the same thing. Trying to bring life, trying to plant things, build things, or figuring out how we can live there. And if bringing some sort of satellite or big object to create some type of gravitational pull is going to create weather and to create seasons and things like that, then why wouldn't we? So you got to think like a scientist on a lot of things as far as when we're talking about the moon and spirituality sometimes because it's all supposed to go together. It was never supposed to be separated. So when you don't think scientifically as well as spiritually, you're not going to get the type of answers you're looking for because that's what alchemy is. Alchemy is science, psychology, spirituality, and all of that combined. Okay. So we must keep all of it combined when we're learning and exploring and talking about certain things. We can't leave one thing out. Okay. Because if we do, we'll be missing a piece. Hey. So when people ask me, oh, what am I doing for the full moon ritual? Da, 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 like, I feel like why would I be doing a ritual to a satellite? Thank you, satellite. Thank you, aliens. Thank you, beings from beyond that have brought the satellite. I mean, that's the only thing I can do. Um, because I know too much now, or I feel like I know beyond that. Okay. So That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when people keep asking, "What are y'all doing for the blood moon ritual?" Da, da, da. Yeah, I can tell y'all some stuff to do, but the point is, I'm not going to do rituals to a satellite. It just seems silly. You know what I mean? To me, it seems like a primitive group of people worshiping a spaceship doesn't really. I feel like knowing what it is and appreciating it for that is good enough. Um, if you want to go by the energies that it brings and things like that to the earth, great. But I feel like for me, there's no need to do any type of ritual with it. I prefer to understand more of scientifically what it's doing at this time mentally. Is it going to bring you more dreams? Is it going to do this? Is it going to affect the chemicals in your brain a certain way? You know, so that's what I'm more into now because I understand that it's a satellite. Bye, kitty. Mhm. So, what do y'all think? Let me see. Thank you. Are y'all still there? Okay, so I was going to change my charge your crystals. There's most of the scientists now believe that it is a satellite. Okay, let's just say that most of everyone, NASA, most scientists, they believe it is a satellite and it was brought here. But we don't. Not everyone has to believe that. I'm just saying, most people that are in the science world believe that. So, and there's lots of evidence behind it as well. But if you don't believe that, then that's fine. Maybe one day it'll be told. I don't know. But let's just say that if you don't believe it, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter. That's the whole point. It's here for what it's doing. The purpose is already been fulfilled. It's here to create seasons. It's here to create weather and stuff like that. So whatever, if it's real or if it's a satellite, it's still doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. Um. Yes. Right. So it doesn't matter if it's if it's created or natural, but most people think it's created. Mhm. Right. Exactly. So content. Like for me, I'm like past the point of doing rituals to any type of planet, moon phase or anything because to me that's just like a religion. I'm not Wiccan. Okay. So I don't do rituals to things like that because first of all, it's not natural. So if you're Wiccan and you're doing rituals, that's not anything of nature. That is a created satellite. Um, so I'm no longer doing any type of, you know, just, because it's to me, it's too primitive for me now. It's like I'm beyond that and I don't want to pretend anymore. It's like when you're beyond a certain thing, because other things, you move beyond it. So I won't be doing any moon rituals. Okay. Are moon gods then some type of alien deity? Yes. Yes. Thoth is a moon god. And Thoth is also associated with Ma'at. They all are they all work together. Okay. They're um, all extraterrestrials, aka Atlanteans. So you're going to get advanced beings when they say, I am a moon deity. You know, think about the moon. You know, a moon deity affects the tides, the water, the chemistry in your brain, the alchemy of the earth. Okay, we have the four seasons. So if he is the god of alchemy, we couldn't have alchemy without the moon. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So it, like I said, if you keep going and going and going, it all leads back to certain things, which all lead you to the sky, to beings that are not of earth or advanced beings. Right. And scientists have even said if the moon was 1 kilometer to the right or to the left, we wouldn't have seasons or everything would be off. There would be no life on Earth. So, this is a mathematically calculated placement of the moon because if you look at all the other moons to other planets, they're not strategically placed like that to create eclipses or they don't have those seasons or anything like that because the moon is not placed that there's no life on many of these planets because the volatile chemistry of that planet. So this moon was strategically put in place in order to be able to create life upon it. um, mm, planning. Thought it was a hologram. I don't think it's a hologram. It's a satellite. Would that affect the ocean life? I think so. Hmm. You saw a spacecraft sitting in the sky like a star yesterday. I don't know how to feel about it. Well, some of those are satellites. Do you know how many satellites there are above Earth? A lot. There's more than you think. There are so many satellites. So a lot of times when we see these moving stars, sometimes they're just satellites. Hmm. And when they disappear, the ones that aren't satellites are usually the ones that are closer and have those three lights, and then they disappear into nothing. Those would be probably more be, UFO convincing of that nature. But those satellites that look like stars, a lot of them are satellites. The Earth is surrounded by them, especially because we have all this Wi-Fi technology now. It's like hundreds and hundreds of satellites up there. Um, some are drones, of course. Yes, Earth is an experiment. I mean, they've been trying to tell you since ancient Sumeria tablets. Earth is an experiment. They created hybrids, hybrid beings, and we're them. Hmm. Hey, so the moon is the creation, the Earth is the experiment. They found a solar system, hey, and a planet close enough to the sun for life to exist if a satellite was brought in place. So there you go. Some people even think Earth was brought here. I don't know. So I haven't gotten to that yet. Mhm. What makes me think even more? Or, yeah, yeah, I already read that. Sorry. So it's just a like people have been believing so many things for so long. It's hard to change beliefs and to see like when you get information to adjust to it, and think about it. and move forward with it. We can't sit and forever thinking like primitive thinking, you know. So I feel like knowing this, now we should look for, things to study that pertain to, you know, exactly who the creators of, humans are. And we already kind of know that from all the myths and legends and stuff, but are they actively being um are they actively communicating with certain people, you know? Like whenever we are explaining the powers that be, are we talking about these people that communicate with these beings, or are we talking about the beings themselves? It's not really hey, kitty. If we're talking about these type of beings and they're so ancient as to where people would call them gods and goddesses, what do we call them today? Are they still gods and goddesses? Are they just more highly advanced beings, or what? In the Emerald Tablets, when Thoth was like he travels through the galaxies and stops to watch the other planets develop, he means he may dock at the moon to watch us jack Earth up. Yeah, I mean, if you can travel the universe, I mean, yeah, think about it. These are extraterrestrials. All the ancient information we're learning is extraterrestrial. Hmm. Do you think the first humans got Earth? Okay. I believe that Adam and Eve is a metaphor. I believe that they were hybrid beings, or beings from, um, I believe that they were beings put here to populate the earth with their species. Yes. And then Lilith, who was Adam's first wife, refused to be with him because he wasn't letting her be who she wanted to be. So she left and created her own beings of, children and things like that and so forth. Um, So that story in the Bible is not like, a God who created humans themselves. There were already people here, there are already humanoids here or whatever, but they were created into hybrids by these beings who were genetically engineering them because they had advanced technology. Bye, kitty. And they have for thousands and thousands of years, and they're still here because um, I feel like they can transfer their consciousness into souls and spirits and stuff like that onto the planet. Where so what do you think you all think about the meaning behind it in eclipse? I think the eclipse was created to also it has to be those distances in order for us to have seasons. Otherwise we wouldn't have 4 seasons. Okay. Hey girl. So yeah, we were just talking about the moon and what we think about it, or what I think about it, and other people think. So there are so many websites you can research, and it will kind of give you all the evidence and things like that of why many scientists think the moon is a satellite. Okay. Mhm. So the Adam and Eve story is just about those type of beings, the extraterrestrial beings coming down to Earth to populate with their seed. That's it. There's already beings here on Earth before them. Okay, there were already humans here before them. They were not technologically advanced. Okay, so not the first people on Earth. No, came to Earth, yes, but Adam and Eve, like y'all keep saying Adam and Eve, but remember that wasn't his first wife. It was Adam and Lilith, and then she dumped him basically and went to go make children elsewhere. And also said that she stole Adam's seed as well. So she has children by him, Samuel, and other whoever, you know. But it sounds like some extraterrestrials got divorced and she went off and had some different baby daddies and she wasn't having it. I don't know. But obviously, she gained some type of power by, seducing certain men in high positions. Okay. But that's Lilith. I'm trying to learn more about her, do more research on all of that as well. I don't have a book solely to Lilith that I recommend, but I'm probably going to get one and read about her or do more research online. Yeah. Mhm. How do we take advantage of tomorrow? Live each day like it's your last. That's how you take advantage of every day. Okay, please don't ask me about, like, I just told y'all I don't do the moon rituals anymore. I stopped a long time ago because I know what the moon is. Okay. So I can't pretend to do those things anymore. So who is Mary Magdalene? I think she would be a version of Lilith. Um, mhm. They did make her into a demon because she didn't want to do what Adam said. But she's not a demon. She just wasn't having it. That's all. You know. She had a different mindset. That's all. Do you think the moon is a satellite that sucks your energy? It just depends. Are you giving it? I think anyone could suck your energy if you're giving it. Does that make her not feminine? No, it makes her smart. To me, feminine is power. You know, it made her smart because look what she got in exchange. More. You know what I mean? Basically, her standards were too high for Adam. He couldn't meet her standards, so she was out. She was like, I don't want to do this. Let me do this. And he was like, no. Well, the story goes, she wanted to be on top and he wanted her to be on the bottom when they were doing it. And she says, no, I want to be on top. I don't want you to feel like you're above me, Adam. I want to be on top. So, I mean, at least she was giving him some, but he said no. So she left. She says, I'm not going back to him. And the they sent what they said they sent three angels or three beings to go and tell her to come back. And she's like, no, I will not go back. I will sacrifice 100 of my children before I go back. Or let's make a deal, whatever. So they made that deal, and that's the story. That's the story. So that she would sacrifice 100 of her children a day before she would go back to Adam. And that only those who were blessed or touched by those angels or whatever would live. But that's just a myth about the Rh negative bloodline and childbirth, and when the mom is Rh negative and the child is Rh positive, sometimes most of the time you lose the child. So that was tying into that myth about the bloodlines or the blood types. But the whole thing is she just didn't want to be with him because he wasn't treating her like she wanted to be treated. And she wasn't going to stay. I guess she felt she was too good for him. I don't know. Yes. But if you think about it, 100 babies a day. Anybody who's Rh negative and that gets pregnant with an Rh positive person back in the old days didn't know that they could not have children without risking losing them. So that may equate to that symbolically, because if you're like, I'm Rh negative, if I have a child with a Rh positive person, I have to get a shot, an injection, or else my body will reject the child if the child is Rh positive. So that's, I think, what she meant by that. Um, mhm. Yes. So that's that myth. If you just want to break it down scientifically, it runs down to the blood types. So that's why, like a lot of times in the Bible, they say, don't mix with the people over here. Don't mix with these people over here, because they were talking about not the races, but the blood type. Thank you, Anna Marie Griffin, for the donation. I truly appreciate it. Okay. Yes. And mhm. So I think that's where that came into that myth. And so the moon was strategically put there by higher beings, extraterrestrial beings, whatever you want to call them, more advanced spiritual beings than us, that exist in a cloaked dimension that has the technology to go in and out, that has the technology to transfer consciousness and control weather and all this kind of stuff. That's why people say that they were gods, because they could control all this stuff. Even though they are not the source of the universe, they are of it. And it's like, still, we are beyond that as well, as humans, as beings, because they are, and we're part of them, and we can do what they do. So that will be the difference between gods, goddesses, and humans. And then when you work with dark energy, you're working with the same thing as them. You're creating like them, except they just have more technology because they're ancient and they've been around longer. Okay. Yes, Nana, Inanna goddess. Yes, she's also a version of Lilith. Hmm. So, yeah, sin means moon also. Yes. Is the full moon a good time for a breakup? Anytime is good for a breakup, baby. Okay. If you don't like the person, leave. Hmm. Hmm. I start my new job. All right. Congrats. The gravitational pull of the moon and the liquids and the tides and all that kind of stuff also pulls energy as well at that time because it's gravity. Okay. So, for example, more people die on a full moon, more babies are born on a full moon because it affects the liquids and the chemistry of your body. Okay. Scientifically. Hmm. Sure. What question do you have? As long as it's something you can't Google, I will answer. If you can Google it, go Google it. Why? Because I don't want to answer. I'm not Google. Okay. How do you think an Aquarius person will be affected by the full moon? Just like anybody else. Okay. I don't want to answer those type of questions either because, like, I don't know if y'all are just tuning in, but the moon affects liquids and chemistry of the body. Okay. What do you think about Aries? Great. Aries, all Aries are great. What do you, y'all? Okay, you're an Aquarius. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're not talking about that. So, my thing is, If y'all are just tuning in, I'm telling you guys, the moon is a satellite. It's not natural to the Earth. There, I have to tell you all because some of y'all just came. So, yes, I believe the satellite known as the moon is not natural to the Earth. It was brought here, yeah, to create the four seasons. Yes. Why? Hmm. Yes, I do think they went to the moon. I think they saw some stuff, and um, one of the astronauts that actually went to the moon said that they weren't allowed to talk about certain things after they came back and of what about what they saw. And now recently, one of them just, I guess he is able to talk about it after so many years. And he did a whole interview talking about what he saw and how scared he was and how they hurried up and got up out of there and how they were communicating on a back line to NASA that the public couldn't hear on live on the news or whatever. And they were saying there's some stuff here on, we got to go, basically. So, yeah, basically told not to come back. And they did some tests on the moon to see, the density of it. And they struck the moon with um, this apparatus and they were measuring the vibration. And the way that it vibrated for 10 minutes straight, like the moon was hollow. So then they studied, like when the meteors and asteroids hit the moon, how none of the craters were deeper than the other, no matter how hard the impact was. You might have a wide one, but they were all the same depth. Does it make sense? That's physically impossible. Okay, because if a heavier meteor hits the moon, it's going to go deeper than a little baby one, right? And that wasn't happening. So they were thinking that the moon is some type of hollow structure with a rock outside, and then there's a metal surface beneath the rock because these craters were only the same depth all around. They might have been wide, but they were never deeper than the next. So that's also one of the things that they're saying. And that when the moon is struck by any asteroid or whatever, it starts to vibrate like a bell because it's hollow. And mhm. And if y'all are just tuning in, I was telling them earlier that MJ even had a song called Scared of the Moon. Scared of the Moon. Y'all can look it up, song probably on YouTube. So, yes, I feel like that's why I don't really, it's not natural to the earth. And it was brought here. Mhm. Do you think the Egyptians have went to the moon? Well, do y'all remember when they were talking about they found a lady's body or mummified body on the moon? They found that supposedly. Hmm. And they're selling land on the moon as well. I think they're selling land on the moon. Like you could buy moon land. I think I don't know if they're going to start to try to put people there to live on it, but I don't think there's no atmosphere. I don't know why they would do that unless they're going to live inside of it. But it's a satellite. Mhm. And like, why don't you ever see the other side of the moon? No matter where, you'll never see that dark side. Okay. Mhm. Right. So the other side could be the openings and the closings to get in and out of the satellite or whatever, but we'll never see it. Okay. So that's why I don't do moon rituals anymore. That's why I don't think the moon is natural to the earth. Um, that's why I'm going deeper into figuring out certain things because that information is no longer enough for me. And you have to keep going further and further until you find what you're looking for, you know? So that's why. Mhm. Right. Oh, many people have already astral traveled there. That's why they know and they've seen certain things that look very familiar and they can come back and draw it. Because a lot of souls that remember being there go back there automatically to visit. Okay. If you if you remember. Hmm. Right. And if you think about it, if we knew this, like if the masses knew this, what do you think that they would do? You know, if someone came on, if the president or whatever came on the television or NASA came on the television and told y'all all of this, would you believe it anyway? Or would you think it was a trick or another lie? Or would you really believe it unless you saw, you wouldn't believe it anyway? So, and what would you do if you didn't like what they were telling you? Hmm. Well, like I said, I don't do those anymore. Like I'm beyond that. The moon is not natural to the earth, So the energy and the gravitational pull that affects people during certain times is science. Okay, it's biology. So if I'm going, I don't knock what other people are doing. You know, everyone's at a different path on their journey. Hmm. Do you perceive the world as a school or a prison? Um, it depends on how you think. You know, it's a prison if you're not knowledgeable. It's a school if you are. Okay, there's difference. It's a prison to those who have not figured out how to free themselves. Do you think the blood moon is why I've been feeling so unbalanced? Well, it does. Any type of full moon or moon change or moon phase affects the chemistry in your body. That's science. Hmm. The moon wasn't created around the earth. It was brought here from far away, from, whatever. So they was built elsewhere and brought here. Yeah. You have to go and do the research. Yes. Mhm. And there are accounts of, written ancient texts that talk about a time before the moon. Let me look it up real quick because there is. Um, this is weird. I can't click off. Why would it be there? Okay. Um, time before the moon. Hmm. The Earth was here first. Even scientists say that the Earth was here before the moon. Okay. So y'all can go research that. But let me see. There's the theory that the moon was like an asteroid and collided into the Earth and then started making and like split the earth apart, and then the moon became the satellite to the earth. But that's they said that theory is like so far fetched, it's ridiculous because of the precise placement of the moon. That's one theory, and then the other theory is that it had to be brought here and that it's hollow. So there. Okay. So here we go. In history, the ancient Egyptian myths, Thoth and the moon, telling the time in Egypt when the moon did not exist, history disclosure. Okay. And I guess y'all can read about that. If there was a time before the moon, it would have been retained in the tribal ancient Egypt. It also said that there have been founded around 31,000 BC. Let's see. Late arrival. There's so many writings on it. I don't want to sit here and read in front of y'all, but yeah. Y'all can go and look it up if you like. But yeah, there are written records that talk about the time before the moon. Okay. There were two moon gods in Egypt. They viewed the moon as masculine, not feminine. Um, well, I guess someone changed that. Yes. The moon is just a satellite. It's neither good nor bad, but I think it's good because it gives us four seasons. Because I think when they said before the moon was brought, there was only two seasons: the above the equator and below the equator, which was winter and summer, no fall, no spring. So before the moon, there were no four seasons. Hmm. Which is hot or cold. And that's what kind of brought more life to the earth, like the different seasons. It gave, yeah, allowed for different species to come, emerge. Hmm. Who is this Lilith? She was Adam's first wife that left him, ran away. Mhm. I purchased land on Mars. I didn't purchase land on the moon. I'm not going to purchase land on a satellite. Okay. Mhm. And there's all these articles. What could the moon be hiding from us? The moon is this, the moon is that, time before the moon. So Atlantis rising, they're equating it with Atlantis and all this kind of stuff, but who knows? What's my favorite thing to do? The thing that I can't do. Yes, I love autumn too. The Lost Book of Pariah. Da 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 da. What about it? There, you saw a video of a footage of a building-like structure on the moon. Yeah. So we should stay home tomorrow. You can do whatever you want tomorrow. The only thing that I know about full moons is that it affects people's brain chemistry and their body fluids, and more people die on a full moon and more babies are born on a full moon because it's biological to your body. Okay? Because of the gravitational pull. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Like everybody can do whatever they normally do. If that makes them feel good, that's fine. I'm not here to change anybody's regular schedule, but I'm just telling you guys because y'all keep asking me what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything but chilling. I do have some consultations and things that I'll be doing, but that's about it. Your water broke on a full moon. See, it's just biological. Mhm. You should do whatever you want to do, baby. It's all you. Do whatever you've been doing if it makes you happy. I'm not gonna do it, but y'all can do it. It didn't hurt anything. Like seriously, honestly, it's not gonna hurt anything. If you like doing it, do it. If it's a tradition, do it. A lot of stuff that humans do that have become tradition seems silly, but if you enjoy doing it, then why stop? It's not gonna hurt anybody, right? So I don't say don't do it. I'm just saying I don't do it. Mhm. Yes. I never was really into moon rituals. That's the whole point. I'm trying to tell y'all. I was never really into it. I would do it for other people. I would do it to show how, what we were doing or how it was done. I would do the Ouija board on it. We would do, things because people were asking and wanting it. But honestly, mm-mm. It's all in your mind. If you feel like whatever you're doing and putting your attention into, you're going to attract it, you will. Okay. So I'm just telling y'all that I don't. But I don't knock anyone else for doing it. You enjoy it, do it. It's if you don't live to enjoy life, then what's the point? If you enjoy doing something like that, then do it. If you don't, like I enjoy doing other things. I enjoy doing a spirit board and ghost sessions, and communicating with those type of spirits. I enjoy doing other stuff, but like I said, I don't see the reason to, you know, do a ritual with a satellite. That's all I'm saying. But as far as, tomorrow being Friday, yes, love spells and stuff like that are good. It's a good time to fast anytime, baby. Like, oh my gosh. I should retitle this. Anytime is good. Yes, dark energy is the ultimate form. Exactly. Yes, exactly. If you create your own reality, so if the moon is important to you, then continue to do what you do. It is important to all of us, but some of us know how we feel about it. And it's just some feel obligated to do rituals, some don't. Mhm. You're right. I could care less about retrograde. That's why I'm never affected. Okay. Um, You're so mad at the moon space people for lying about it. Well, now you know. Or now you at least you could start figuring it out and researching yourself. Your perspective that you aim to transcend planetary events, astrology, retrograde, etc. Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, do you think the gods and goddesses live by Mercury retrograde or the moon? Right. No. So if you're trying to transcend to that level of consciousness and thinking, why do you still? That's the question. You can't straddle the fence. Okay. You either with it or you're not with it. Okay. You see, it was starting to feel like a burden. I told you. You don't need to do any of that if you know exactly what you're transcending to, you know? Great. So if you're trying to reach goddess and godhood, you no longer need to really do any of those things because if you think about it, these higher dimensional conscious beings are not doing any of that. You know, it's kind of like, do y'all remember on Men in Black when Will Smith went to his locker and there was all these little fuzzy things in there, like waiting for the return of Will to the locker? And they had a whole religion based around whoever opened the locker. I mean, just think about things like that. Okay. It's almost like a lot of the things that we're taught, especially in witchcraft or in paganism or in whatever religion that you're in, is primitive compared to what is, and a lot of people will laugh at you that are higher advanced beings. You know what I'm saying? They might laugh, oh look, these silly people are doing rituals to a satellite. That's strange. But hey, if it let them do it. At least they're not asking questions. Um, or hey, these people are doing this, this, and that. Okay, well, if they're long as they're happy, let it be, baby. You know. So it's not hurting anything, but it is stunting growth. Right. And all those things are there for a reason because eventually you'll ask more questions and it'll lead you to more answers that will lead you to a different understanding or a different higher understanding. Do I observe and use planetary energy in my work? Um, all of those things. Okay, let's just really think about this for 1 second. I do because people do. Before anyone wrote these two things, that Venus equals love, before a man came up with that, before a woman came up with that, did anyone do that? It helps because it's thought. If you think it, if you're manifesting and you're vibrating it, it will be. Okay? So then it will be. People like to think certain things, and so you give it to them. There. Hi, kitty. Wow. Thank you, Sasha. But I use the days of the week for my schedule to do certain spells on regarding the planets. Yes, because it makes sense to other people. You know what I mean? And let me tell you guys something. When I didn't, people would ask me, well, don't you think it's better to do it on a Friday? So fine, I do it on Friday, baby. Whatever. You know, it's gonna work either way. But now that I've gotten used to using it as my schedule, I will continue to use it like that, so I don't have to answer 1,000 questions. But you can do it on any day. It doesn't matter. Mm-mm. But I'm still keeping my schedule, just so y'all know, because it works for me. Right. It's the same thing. Because before all of these things were written, were they true? Before someone said them or told you that, were they true? You know, before there were days of the week, how would we know? Because there was a time when there was no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday. There was just sunrise and sunset. Okay. If any night is a good night to do a breakup spell. Thank you for the donation. Yes, you may do it anytime as long as you're feeling it and meaning it and you manifest it and you're vibrating to cause breakup and you are in that energy, it's a good night. Mhm. Uh-huh. So, if it's just easier for you as a schedule to do it on certain nights, great. A lot of people use it for scheduling. Some people don't, some people do. It's up to you. Because remember, there was a time on Earth when people were, when the calendar was totally different and we weren't on the same calendar, you know? So people were still doing magic then. Ooh. So we have to think about stuff like that. You got to think. You can't just take stuff and run with it. You got to really just use your brain a little bit and say, well, wasn't there a time on Earth before there were calendars and days of the week and how, da da da. So it's whatever. Only these things were put in place to measure things, you know, measure things. And if you like doing whatever you're doing with the phases of the moon or the planets, continue doing it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just, you know, that's what you want to do. It's not going to hurt anything at all. hmm Exactly. So it's all, everybody has free will. We can do what we want. And I feel like you're going to have some practitioners of magic that work with certain things and some that don't. And it's all good because all is mental anyway. So no matter what, if you are vibrating on that vibration and mentally bringing yourself or bringing what you're trying to attract, it's going to happen for you. Okay. Hi, Kitty. You want to come up here? Okay. Come on. Oh, no, not on this dress. Hold on. Ooh. Here, I'll put my notepad. Come on, Kitty. Yes, she's a baby. Mm-hmm. I got a treat for you. Get it, kitty. Get it. Row, row, row. Bye, Velvet. Oh my gosh. Does Velvet act different on full moons? Every day she acts crazy, so no. She might be a little extra frisky. hmm Yeah, she might be extra frisky, but that's about it. hmm Yeah, if you're using astrology as a map, wonderful. That's what most of the ancients or the sky people used it for. was to navigate. Exactly. Or as a map. And that's why they had the pyramids to also see where they had like, okay, well, it's lining up with where they were trying to get and it's coming back to where, they're on the right path. So they used the stars in the sky as maps. Hmm. But knowing all these things now, a lot of people are going to, totally switch how they do things, uh, and which could be a good thing because now the knowledge that you'll be seeking is going to be so much more profound, you know. Exactly. They're going to be more profound. You're going to get more into. There's a yellow and white cat that hangs around your neighborhood. There's stray cats a lot of places. They use sky markers, pole stars. Exactly. I mean, think about it. If you're in a ship and you have to use the stars to navigate, imagine if you were in a spaceship, or you would also use the stars to navigate because that's what the only map you would have. Hmm. So I feel like astral travel to me, when you astral travel, a lot of people have seen certain things. Like I said, certain beings, certain ships, certain floating things. Some people have been to the moon. Um, some people have been inside of certain ships or whatever. Some people said they've been abducted by aliens and da da da. But if you astral travel and you have, seen these things, you'll see or remember if you see a photo or someone's drawing of a similar place that they've also visited while astral traveling. And it'll be so um, precise that it can't be a mistake. You know what I mean? Right. And like I've been astral traveling and dreaming so much lately after my, using these drops that it seems like a whole different reality, like a whole nother reality that exists. Bye, kitty. A real reality, almost so real that it feels like you have two lives. And just like in that movie Avatar, it seems like there's two lives. And the memory is so vivid, and it's just so crazy because it feels like you got two lives. It's just weird. Hmm. I dream. I don't dream sure. What do I do? Get these drops. Um, I love to sleep. You love to sleep and get into your other world. Yes. Thank you, Shell Bell, for the donation. My Ashira's Gold Elixir drops. You can go to Dark Realm on Etsy. Let me see if they're sold out again because they sell out like every day. I got to restock like, let me see. I got to put these orders in tonight. I let the whole day go and then I put the orders in at night after everyone has ordered. So I need to see. Yeah, it's called Dark Realm on Etsy. Hmm. Could you get the effects without the drops? All is mental. I think it would take you a longer time because the drops have certain things in them that help your brain work faster. Um, the gold, the platinum, the silver, the iridium is a conductor of electricity. Your brain works off of electricity. So your consciousness, your pineal gland, and your thalamus gland in your brain is going to function at a higher pace and a higher vibration. So you're going to experience things that you're not going to be able to experience without the drops unless you raise your vibration. You know what I'm saying? To that level that will make your brain a faster conductor. Okay. So if you can do that, then of course you don't need the drops. Thank you, Jana. You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you for the donation. So yeah, you don't need the drops. You just, if you can make your brains and the neurons fire faster, you got it. Let me see. Yep, sold out again. All right. Let me ask if I can put them back up. Let me see. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all have not gotten the drops yet. And I'm going to be putting out the drops one more time, and then we're moving on to the next phase of these drops. For those of you who have gotten the drops, we're going to move on to phase 2. Okay. Let's see. Dang, they sold out again. I haven't checked my email. Dang. Darn it. So yeah, I'll restock these drops and then we're moving on to phase 2. So if you haven't gotten the drops, they're not going to be on my page unless I can get them to, I'm only going to be able to sell a certain amount of them. They're not going to be like in big stock because I need to move on to phase 2 for those who are going to be finished with the phase 1. Mhm. How do you stay humble, or is humble bull? I feel like humbleness, depending on where you are and who you're being humble to. You know what I mean? That's that's my thing. Who are you being humble to? And is it out of respect for that person, or is it because you've been taught to be that way? You know, I'm humble to certain people, but not everybody. Hmm. So that's my answer to that. The elixir's not up there yet. It's sold out. I have to restock. Hold on. And I need to talk to, oh my gosh, I need to check the email. Let's see what she's saying. Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna restock about 10 bottles, and that's it. It's on Etsy. The store is Dark Realm. You just got your drops today and they are strong. You can't keep still, Michaela. I told you. Wait till it kicks in consciously. You're gonna be like, okay. Why is this not working? I feel like, what? Oh, you're welcome, pretty unicorn. So what I'm telling y'all, yes, these you're on you've been deleting emails from 2012 and thinking a lot. That's all. Dang, I don't let mine pile up like that. You so crazy. Okay, why isn't this working? Am I stuck? What's going on? See if I did it. You've been deleting emails too? I do that every day or every other day. So I don't have to do that. I'm trying to renew. Something went wrong. Please try again. What? Okay. I'm gonna put 10 back up here, y'all. I'm getting more elixir right now. I'm putting 10 out right now, starting now. The 10 are up. Run. Dark Realm on Etsy. How do I feel about vaporizers instead of cigarettes? It still looks bad when you do it. um, I say just quit altogether. You know? Quit altogether. No cigarettes, no vapes. Just be free. Free yourself. You'll save money. Hmm. You'll save some money. I barely drink anymore. I don't use any drugs. I don't smoke. I might have a margarita or a glass of wine every now and then. But that's about it. Yeah, I don't like having habits. That's one thing in alchemy. You're supposed to be in control of everything. And you can't control drinking and drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. You're not in control of yourself. You are not in control because that drives you. That determines the course of your life. That determines your actions. That determines on how you think. So I'm not talking about aspirin. I'm talking about like drugs, like mind altering drugs. I'm talking about getting drunk. I'm talking about smoking. I'm talking about things like that. Not, oh, I got a headache. Let me take something. I don't even really take those things. I take supplements that are beneficial to me, but I don't take anything that drives me as far as being having a habit. Okay, yeah. Like I don't just need you could put me in a room and I don't need anything but food and water. Okay? That's it. Don't need a cigarette, don't need a drink, don't need any drugs, and I'm good. So I am not controlled by anything like that. No chemicals, exactly. I remember my mom used to smoke. The cigarettes were controlling her every move because she had to go smoke outside. She had to go have a cigarette. It was time for a cigarette. It's like you have a dependency on it. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, we can use every excuse, but the whole point is which one controls you? Does an aspirin control you or does alcohol? You know, I've never heard of someone addicted to aspirin. Mm. There's no aspirins anonymous. Okay. So you can be free, baby. Let me type these people. It's back. Hurry. It is back in stock. Hurry. Wow, aspirins for brains. Bye. Bye. Don't you love those closed minded people? They get so far in life. All right. Hi, Shira. Just got into the chat. Yeah, we've been talking about how the moon is a satellite. We just got finished talking about someone asked me if I do drugs or drink alcohol or anything. I'm like, barely drink any type of alcohol, barely. Maybe once in a while. Like, I think maybe once this month I've had one drink. Mhm. I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. The GMOs purposely put there do to evolve you into certain ways of thinking. Yeah. Mhm. See, everything you think is bad sometimes is good, and everything you think is good is sometimes bad. And bad for you, or whatever you think you're avoiding, you're not avoiding at all. And it's just that's just how stuff works because you think you're avoiding GMO, but every time you drink water or every time you eat at a restaurant or every time you breathe in some air or every time you use your toothpaste, how do you know it's not in there? You know? And the whole thing is what if it's trying to activate your what do you call it? Your DNA that's not activated. Your what they used to call junk DNA. They don't call it that anymore because now that junk DNA is now being activated. And how do you know that it's not being activated through certain things, GMOs? Because if you go back to think about it, the first people that were to do agriculture were geneticists. They've been having GMOs since ancient times. That's why they held certain animals sacred. That's why they put certain things in certain animals and certain crops and all that kind of stuff to activate your DNA over a long period of time. Because if you evolve too fast, it's going to be too much for you. So all this GMO talk, if you watch Neil deGrasse Tyson and people ask him about GMOs, he's going to laugh. He's going to say, "Sure, I eat it," and he's going to tell you exactly why. It's science. It's evolution. It is this, and that. Yes, it is a natural way that fruits and vegetables should be grown, but there's also other ways. How do you know the fruit and vegetable that you're actually eating is not a GMO already from ancient times? So you got to really think about stuff before you sit and judge. What if an apple is actually a genetically modified something else and you have no idea because it's so ancient? Hmm. So, right. You have been genetically modified. You are not the original human. Should we not treat you good? Okay. Even if you grow your own food, what you're eating is old, genetically modified food anyway. Right. Do what you want to do. It doesn't make a difference. It's going to be in your soil and in your water and in the rain. That's all I'm saying. In the meats. It's going to be everywhere. If they want you to have it, you're going to have it. You can't escape it, baby. It's just, you could think you're escaping it, which may be helpful to you mentally so you don't go crazy thinking about it. But if you think about it in a different way, it's not a bad thing. Mhm. Remember, it's all an experiment. Let's give them this. Hopefully, it'll wake up this DNA inside of them. Da 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 da. Okay, put it in whatever. Great. So yeah, if you ask certain people about the GMO, they're gonna tell you everything is GMO. Everything has been genetically modified. Bees create GMO when they take this to that place, to that place, to that place. Natural. But the whole point is, whatever you think is pure food is actually not, because it was probably modified thousands and thousands of years ago. Mhm. I use fluoride free toothpaste. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, the government will give you secret strains of the flu. Yep, yep, yep. They will. It's an experiment. They're trying to see if your DNA has evolved. Are you immune to this? It's just science experiments over and over. And you're the subject, the test subject, and you have no idea. No, I'm not vegan. Um, when you walk into someone's filthy house, what does it say about them? That they're filthy. Okay. It's- they don't have a maid. They don't have time to clean. They don't put cleanliness as a priority. um, which childhood vaccine leaves that circle thing on your arm? I think it's polio. Mhm. They stopped giving those after a while. And y'all, people taste like bacon. I wish y'all, I told y'all I had become vegetarian for a short time after I became a mortician because human meat looks just like pork and beef. And when I was doing the embalming on autopsy people and they removed the rib plate, it looked just like a stack of ribs you buy to barbecue. It looked exactly the same. I was like, wow, that reminds me of ribs. And it's all people, that- it's all races that look and smell just like raw pork and raw beef. Angie Trujillo, thank you again for the donation. I told y'all one time I went to the medical examiner's office to pick up a deceased person who had been burned in a car accident. And as soon as you walk in there, it smells straight up like barbecue. I'm like, ooh, what's that smell? Thinking somebody had some lunch. It was a burnt person, smelled like barbecue. Um, that crispy charcoal barbecue. That's what it smelled like. And I stopped eating meat. I was like, I'm done. And I still don't eat red meat to this day. I don't eat pork. I don't eat beef. I don't eat none of that because it's too close to human. Mm-mm. You say, yep, that's true. Smells like barbecue. How do you cleanse yourself and all your stuff if you're not vegan? Um, well, I only eat poultry and seafood, so that really doesn't stay in your system for more than a day anyway. Yes, I eat chicken. Yes, I do. Mhm, mhm. You got more psychic after you stop eating meat. Let me tell y'all why people feel like they get more psychic after stop eating meat, because your body is using less energy in digesting what you ate, and it takes your body longer to and more energy to digest meat. So therefore, you have some freed up energy to help your brain conduct electricity better. Yes, but like I said, a lot of people have more energy, more conduct more things that conduct electricity in their blood, you know, or they take supplements with things that help with conducting electricity. So, like I said, some people can eat it and feel better and more psychic or whatever, and some people won't eat it and have the same result. So it just depends on your blood type, the supplements that you take, and all that good stuff, you know. So as for me, with my blood type, I have a lot more copper in my blood, so I can eat meat without it affecting anything as far as how I, you know. And then plus, when you take the supplements with the gold and the platinum and the silver and the iridium, that just takes it to the whole nother level. Okay. So if I were to not eat meat, which I did for a while, I was vegetarian for a while. And when I was that way, you know, I wasn't grounded enough. I need to be here. I got to be here. I got to be able to get mad and cuss some people out when I need to cuss them out. I got to be grounded enough to be here as well. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right. You gonna go get some tacos? Oh God, they got chicken tacos too. That's what I'll be eating them. Hmm. You love your drops. Can I ask you why coming out with new drops? These because it's the second phase. After you finish that bottle, you're gonna need phase two, which is going to be different, which is gonna take you to a more advanced. Okay, so after you finish that bottle, the phase two is going to be available. Will I stop making the original drops? I will still offer them every once in a while or little bits at a time, like small batches at a time. Because, okay, so here's the thing, y'all. When I get these drops, um, they have to be made. Okay. And if I'm getting a lot made, I can't get the other stuff made, you know. So I need to focus on, unless I do half and half, do half the new drops for the people that haven't gotten them yet, and then half the old drops. Hmm. Hmm. You're gonna sprout wings. You know what? I haven't done phase two yet either, so I'm telling y'all, I'm doing it with y'all. So, I'm gonna start it after the bottle. When I'm done with this whole bottle, I'm gonna start the phase 2. Mhm. What if you start with the second bottle? They don't suggest that. They suggest starting off with this bottle first, especially since you have to get accustomed and used to the energy. You know what I mean? Mhm. Oh, we were talking about the moon. I forgot. We were talking about the moon. Um, I was talking about how yes, I feel like the moon is a satellite. Mhm. I think one bottle should last you about a month if you're taking it every day. Um, you stare into the moon and manifest. Mhm. Whatever gets you there. I say do it. Y'all, that's why I don't get into vegans and meat eaters because people are supposed to eat different stuff. Okay. There's different people that need different foods, you know. The theory that the moon was once part of the earth is a far-fetched theory because it landed in the exact space, not 1 foot that way, not 1 meter that way, not 1 meter this way, not 1 meter that way, to have 4 seasons and be the exact size of the sun and the earth at the same time as it passes in between. That's not coincidence. So that they said that theory is far-fetched, and the theory that it was brought here is more believable to scientists. They said there would be like one in a gazillion chance. And how come no other planets have that type of moon? You know what I mean? Mhm. And why is it hollow? Everyone thinks there's a satellite inside the moon. So after the first bottle of elixir drops, we move on to the new drops. Got it. Okay, yes. And I'm going to be introducing them probably in September. Try maybe mid-August. I'm going to try to do one more thing of the new drops and then hopefully by September we'll start my new ones. What do I do about my husband having a problem with doing spiritualism, witchcraft, and altar work? There's an area I can use and he won't move his things. Move it for him. What? Put them in a little box and set them aside. Isn't that your house? You said your husband. Isn't that your house as well? Move them to a nice other spot. Okay. Shoot, I would have been moved that stuff in the trash or something. I would have made up a whole lie about it too. Oh my God, the kids were playing ball and all that stuff up there broke. Or I put in a box and it's over there. Okay. I'm redecorating. It is what it is. That's all you gotta do. Get you a nice little box. The puzzle that he working on, girl, it's a puzzle. I would have been moved that thing. I'm like, look, I was vacuuming. I sucked half that puzzle up. Oops, I'm sorry. So I don't think bye. Make up some, just make stuff up, girl. I was vacuuming and I turned around, the puzzle sucked up in the vacuum. I'm so sorry. I will buy you another one, but I think I'm gonna use this table for something else now, and you can do your puzzles over there because when I vacuum, I might suck it up again. Mhm. Mhm. Buy him a 3D puzzle that he can stack instead of a long puzzle. Go buy him a 3D puzzle that you have to build. That way, it's not gonna take up any room. He could do it somewhere else. Okay. Mhm. I have ancestor money. Yeah. So, and I just want to tell y'all one thing. Like, y'all don't have to ask for permission to do stuff in y'all's own house. Just do it. Okay. It's your house as well. If you married, that half that house is yours, and you can do what you need to do. Tell me more about satellite moon. Okay, Layla girl. All right, satellite moon. Um, Many experiments have been done on the moon to show that it is hollow, that we don't see the dark side of the moon for some reason. And it's placed in a certain position that is so precise that it can't be coincidence. And if it was not placed in that certain position, we would not have four seasons, we wouldn't have tides with the ocean, and things would not be like they are now as far as um, all the different species and life and things like that, flowers and plants that we're able to have now. Right. Exactly. We wouldn't have been able to evolve. Uh-huh. How do you feel about global warming? You mean the sun getting hotter? Um, I mean, what can we do about the sun? Um, mhm. As far as animals being murdered, okay, let me tell y'all something. The vegans and the people that are arguing. Right now, there are animals being murdered everywhere around the world. There's fish being caught. There's in some places there's rats, roaches. In Thailand, there's all kind of animals being killed for food. Okay, there's what people call bush meat. Okay, dogs, cats, gorillas, cows, horses. Are being consumed. There are some places on earth where people don't have the luxury of growing agriculture and they eat whatever they can get. Okay. So we're not going to sit here and argue about what we're going to eat and what we're not going to eat. Yes, if you have the luxury and the free choice and the free will to eat only plants and vegetables, great. Some people don't have that, and some people like to eat what they like to eat. Keyword like, you know. If you like to eat vegetables, if you like to eat fruit, that's wonderful. If you like to eat meat, that's wonderful. More power to each of you. Okay. Eat what makes you happy. Okay. I don't sit up here and talk bad about people that eat certain things that I don't because I don't care. Don't It doesn't bother me at all. Okay. I really don't care what you put in your mouth, chew, and poop out. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. Okay. It's all going in the toilet anyway, baby. And polluting the ocean. Thank you. Okay. It's all going in the toilet and going in the water systems anyway. Happy birthday. to the ocean. Yeah, it's all going in there. You're killing marine life with your feces of your plants. Okay, so now that we've solved that issue, if you're gonna charge, I glass is good. Not as much as feces of your dead rotting flesh. Well, fish eat other fish. You're gonna be mad at the fish. Animals eat other animals. You're gonna be mad at them. you know, Sharks, lions, tigers, panthers, wild boars, fish. I've already been vegan. I was very healthy, but I was like, but I would never stop anybody from eating meat or becoming an advocate of it. I don't care. I didn't stop for animals because people are still killing animals. Dogs eat meat. There's meat in dog food. Exactly. There's meat in cat food. So why stop eating it if you like it? I lost more weight not being vegan. I'm just saying, I eat meat, right? I'm not, you don't have to kill animals, they do it for you. I'm serious. If I had to kill the animals, I'd probably be vegan or vegetarian too, but I don't have to kill them. Mhm. And back in the old days when people did have to kill chickens, they still did it. That was how they ate. They didn't have a choice. Somebody would kill an animal if you were hungry. Yeah. If you're out in the wilderness and there's nothing else to eat and you have a choice to kill or starve, you're going to kill. Okay. That's the part about the grounding. That's the grounding. You got to stay grounded. Okay. Because if you're not even balanced enough to kill an animal when necessary, how are you going to defend for yourself on this planet? How are you going to be able to do certain things? Will you kill a person before you kill an animal? Okay. It keeps you balanced. Uh, would you kill a person? Mhm. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, would you be able to kill someone if you had to? Or do you think about their life? Or what if an animal was trying to attack you? Would you kill it then? Hmm. We're vibrating too low and we can't defend, but we can defend ourselves when it comes down to it. Okay. We don't, the thing about eating animals is it keeps you grounded to the earth. And also it gives you a certain type of mentality that we need. We can vibrate on up to the sky, eating fruits and vegetables all day long. But when it's time to do certain things, are you going to be able to do them? You know, are you going to be able to do them correctly without hesitation? Are you going to stop and think? Okay, well, you know what? Have fun eating your plants and whatever, and we'll have fun eating these bones. Right? I got some chicken bones right now that's in voodoo they throw bones, or in hoodoo they throw bones from the chicken. Different cultures, different beliefs, different everything. All is mental, you know. So if you're gonna eat meat, eat meat. If you're not, then don't eat meat. It doesn't bother me at all. Mhm. But don't try to convert people. That's just rude. If any meat eater were to get in the ring with you and rip you to shreds, well, they might bite you, baby. Look at Mike Tyson. They might start eating your ears. Then what you gonna do? You ain't gonna eat them? Okay, well, they might bite you to shreds because they're meat eaters. Get it? um, Y'all, I'm being silly. I'm being funny. Okay. That's true. You can do whatever you need to do, but don't try to convert people if they don't want to stop eating meat. That's all. Mhm. I'm fine with vegans. I don't like I said, I don't care what people eat. It doesn't bother me. Mhm. If when being vegan became a religion, that's when I stopped caring about it. I'm so over it. Mhm. When veganism became a religion, when people started trying to convert people, that's when it became a religion. That's why I'm so over it. Um, if you're trying to force people to do something, I'm like side eye. If people want to become vegan, it should be their choice, right? Moon. We've already talked about the moon. It's a satellite. It was brought here by extraterrestrials. There. The moon is of extraterrestrial origin. There. Moon is a satellite. The moon is a satellite. Are we still going to have a funeral? Oh, yes. We need to bury. That's for the other channel. Um, mhm. But hey, I don't, I say, the moon affects us biologically mostly, and the chemicals in our brain, so mentally as well. Okay. But biologically first. So if you feel different during the full moon, it's because your body chemistry is being affected by the gravitational pull. Okay. Mhm. But if you understand this and know it, you can still control yourself. You know, some people will say, oh, it's because it's a full moon. I'm going nuts and crazy. But if you know it's a full moon, you can prepare. Like, okay, well, if I feel a little strange, I know it's the full moon, so I need to really control my behavior, basically. Yes, it is connected to our emotions, but still we are in control if we are aware. So if you're aware that it's a full moon, especially if you're a woman and you have a cycle during the same time, if you're aware of that, you can control those emotions or stay away from certain people that aggravate you if you're not feeling like you're going to be able to tolerate it. You'll be able to get out of it or avoid it. You know what I mean? So you do have control over it. You just have to be aware. Mhm. Okay. Right. We can't control our emotions. Mhm. Because we have free will and we're conscious. You want to end a relationship ASAP, the full moon seems like a good time. Any time is a good time. I promise you. If you're going to do it during a full moon, your emotions are going to be, your chemicals in your body are going to be like affected, you know? Um, are you going to be extra emotional? Is that person going to be extra emotional? Why not just disappear and ghost the person and let them figure it out? I mean, why do, when people break up, why do they have to do this whole big shebang? Just disappear. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people die in a breakup because they want to make a big deal out of it? Just leave, just disappear, just be gone, just poof. Stop calling, stop texting, just disappear, fall off the planet. Hmm. Exactly. What do I think of the tarot moon card? You know that means something is hidden or occult, secret, occult, hidden meaning. And why would the moon card mean hidden? Okay. If the moon card in the tarot represents hidden things, occult means hidden. It also represents something being found out. Um, so, hey. Mhm. Oh, and another thing, I don't know how these drops are going to affect anyone during the full moon because we're getting ready to find out together. Hopefully, it'll be a good experience. Mhm. Okay. Hide. Sure, what does the Magician Tarot card mean? It means trickery. It means you're in control of what is seen. It means also, if it's pertaining to someone else, that you could be being deceived. It also represents illusion and mind over matter. Hmm. So we're turning into werewolves. Oh. Hmm. My favorite deck is the Spellcaster's deck because it's good for occult and magic practitioners. Hmm. I just put 10 more up. I don't know. Did it sell out already? Dang. Whoever that person is that's trying to troll, I'll keep hiding your messages. I'm not even reading them. Waste of time. If you want me to have a job so bad, why don't you just send me a paycheck, darling? They said I should have a job. Why would I want to go work for someone else? That makes zero sense. Mm, hmm. If you want me to be like you, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like you, darling. Yeah, this is my idea of a job. It works for me. Exactly. I don't know who that person is. I have a hater. Yay. Oh, I'm not mad at you, Shelly. I'm just saying, everybody eats what they want to eat. Let's not argue about food. Yeah, you're right. That is a hater up there. Where? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing if there's any of the drops still available. That's what I was trying to do before I was so rudely interrupted. Yes, there are 6 left. If you go now to my Etsy store. They said my husband is in prison. Oh Lord, I guess they don't watch my channel. Oh, girl. Yeah, he's in my prison. That's the only prison he gonna be in. This one. Yeah. I got a victim. Hmm. Okay, Shelly, that's cool. We cool now. No problem. We w- I was never mad. I wasn't gonna argue about food. Hmm. Peace and love. Yes. Mhm. So anyway, yeah, there's 6 bottles left, and I might put 10 more up tomorrow. I just have to pace to see the amount that I have left. Would you recommend staying in and going out during the full? I don't really go out during any type of full moon, like I said, because there's more people in the hospital in the emergency room during full moons. If someone's drinking, their whole chemistry is off during a full moon. Um, because your chemistry in your body is off. People snap faster. You know, I stay off the road during full moon. When I was a funeral director, we had more bodies during the full moon. We had to pick up more people. I'm just saying it's not somewhere I would be out during because of how it affects people's body chemistry. You know, I'm just looking at the numbers here. Mhm. But like I said, if you got to do something, go out and do it. Don't let that fear keep you in. But if you are not, if you just don't have to go out, I wouldn't. Hmm. You moved the puzzle. He threatened to mess up my altar with it's his issue. He's an atheist. I have finally found my joy. OS. He will turn into the Hulk. Girl, you just have to go crazy one time. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, if you go crazy one time and go extra crazy, he will never bother you again. Okay. You tell him if he messes with your stuff, You will not sleep with him anymore. You will tell his mama, if she's still alive, how he's acting. And every puzzle he bring in this house will be in the trash can from here on out. And if he wants, and if he trashes your stuff, then you gonna get some lawyers involved. Just threaten him. Just whatever makes him the most scared, put it on him. Tell him. You know what scares him. Mention it. Get on the phone, call one of your friends or relatives and tell them what he's doing. Girl, believe this man is out here getting mad, embarrass him. Come on. Y'all know what to do. Y'all are women. Put his crap on the floor. He can get another table. And who cares if if he's atheist, that's fine. You you want to have an altar, have an altar. I'm serious. Men aren't supposed to run you. And if you paying one bill in that house, you better put your foot down. Okay. Tell him to build Legos and puzzles in the garage. Oh my god, that's funny. Tell him to put his Legos. That is hilarious. Right. I'm just saying, if you pay any bill in that house, that's your table too. Don't go out while the moon is out or during the day. No, I'm saying, look, at night I don't. If I'm aware of it. If I'm not aware and I just happen to be out, oh well, But I don't make my life around it. I just know that there's an increase of death around full moons. Maybe that'd be a good time for a death spell. You know what I mean? Anybody, that'd be a good time for a death spell during the full moon. The chances will be higher. Okay. I still got that squished Elmo. I sure do. Y'all. Hmm? Thank you for your input. You made plans tomorrow, not thinking about the full moon and debating it. Da, 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 da. You do? The local jails are full to the max during the full moon. Wow. See? I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to be dead. I don't want to be in the emergency room. I'm staying in. And it's not out of fear, it's out of understanding. It's not out of fear, it's about what other people are doing, how other people can't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? I can control myself. But if I'm aware of something, I'm not going to put myself in the situation that I can avoid, that I have the information to avoid, you know? Is it still the full moon while it's out during the day? I think once the sun sets and the moon is in full effect and the tides, you know how they have the tides when the moon rises? I think that's what we have to worry about when the moon rises. Uh-huh. Mhm. It brings out chemical imbalances. It affects the chemicals in your body, the liquids in your body. So be it in the brain and in the body. Yes. So I try to stay home if I know it's a full moon. I don't really go out. I don't drive around. Um, I always tell James, I say, you know, more people die during the full moon, right? You better stay in, or you better get home faster, you know, or whatever. I just, it's just how it is. Mm, I think if you're going to work with the moon and your body chemicals are being you know, altered with the gravity, I feel like maybe depending on how you think about it, if you manifest something that you're feeling highly emotional about at that time, it will be helpful. You know what I mean? So if the chemistry in your body is reacting to the moon a certain way, you're feeling some type of emotional, you know, vibration, do whatever you need to do. You're manifesting at that time when your vibrations are at the height. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you don't even need the moon for that. You can just rile yourself up on any given day. But if you have the help of the moon, gravitational pull on your emotions and your you know, chemicals and stuff and liquids in your body, then why not use it, you know? Hmm. If you're already an emotional person and you're allow your thoughts to go there emotionally, then it's going to have some type of effect on you. If you are aware, then you can kind of control it and hold back, you know. Hmm. You're gonna win the lottery? Okay. I don't know if I'm going live tomorrow night. I just come on when I feel like it. The deck, I don't know if I have it up here. I don't know. Let me see. Ooh, I don't know if I have it. It might be downstairs in one of my other bags because I sometimes I carry it with me, and it is downstairs. But if you can look it up online, it's called the Spellcasters Tarot. Okay. Hmm. I really don't base any spell work on the moon anymore. But you know, if I were going to use it, I would use it as far as me manifesting and being on a certain vibration due to the increase of emotion or whatever during the full moon. But that's all. Hmm. But it's all what you think. So if you think it's going to be better, it will be better. Hi, kitty. Mommy, what? What's up? I want my watching. Okay. When? Soon. What's tomorrow? Friday. Uh, Okay. We'll go tomorrow. Bye. Hmm. You're gonna take your drops. Okay. Awesome. It's just on Etsy, and the store is called Dark Realm. Okay. Let me see how many bottles are left. I think someone just bought one. Yep. Okay. There's 6 left. Velvet sounds like a newborn. I know. One time Velvet was on the floor, meowing, and I was on my other channel, and somebody started trolling me saying, "Why are you letting your baby cry in the background? You're such a bad mother." It was a cat. I said, "This is my cat. It's no child." So I thought that was funny. So, yes, I need to do more research on this Lilith and not the mythical stories, but to break them down and like, you know, say what they're really saying. Mhm. Velvet wants snacks. I got your snacks, Velvet. Velvet, come on, Velvet. Velvet. Get it, Velvet. Velvet. She's so cute. Yes. You're handcrafting a small army of clay oo- Ushabits, beaties. Am I saying it right? um, yeah. Come on, Velvet. I got what you want, Velvet. Bad Velvet. She's a food digger. I got more, Velvet. Got what you need. Go ahead, kitty. Bye. What do I think of hoteps? Well, first of all, a lot of people, well, you know what? I don't need to judge anybody. Everybody's on their own path, whatever, whatever. But if you use, I don't like people that use spirituality as an excuse to not have what they're supposed to have in life, you know? But as far as people that are into Egyptian magic or, thinking or whatever, I think a lot of people don't have all the hidden meaning behind what they're actually into, you know? That's what I think. Mhm. Because a lot of people that, study the ancient Egyptians and kind of live by, what they what they were teaching, it's a whole nother story because like a lot of the symbolism in Egypt is code for something else that they may have no idea what it actually means. So until they figured that out, like here, kitty, like a lot of Egyptians think there are certain pictures when they show a man holding another man's hand and touching his back, they think that's, oh, that's gay. No, that's hypnosis. Okay, um, because that is one of the techniques when you are hypnotizing someone. You know, also with the stories when they say that they're asking for some sperm or something like that, that's Another way that people of the ancient times were going to explain using genetic experiments and using the seeds of other beings to create hybrids. You know what I mean? So, of course, they can't explain that to the average normal person because they're not going to understand it. So, a lot of, hi, Kitty. Yeah, genetic engineering. So, a lot of people, ooh, that's gay. Ooh, this, that, oh, that, they're not in that mindset to understand it. So, a lot of people don't know the symbolism and the hidden meaning in the very thing that they are learning about or saying that they are, hi, Kitty, saying that they are, you know, doing magic with. Okay. Bye, kitty. She just wants me for food right now. Yeah. You went from Mary Magdalene straight to Lilith with your research. Exactly. It's the same energy. And the funny thing is, like, during this whole video, someone wrote me, asking about should she move her husband's stuff off the table and put her altar up. And I was like, yeah. Like, you don't need to ask. Get that energy. Um, have you seen God? Is God a woman? Oh, they say she is. Okay. Anyway, the God that's controlling what's going on here. Anyway, exactly, goddess. The Ariana Grande video. I have seen that. Yes, I posted in the group yesterday. Um, mhm, I still have that doll. You can do anything with anything. Any spells you can do at any time. What is this? Hmm? Right. The most high, what I would say the source of the universe is neither male nor female, but both. But the mm, I would say the energy or the being over this planet in particular is not that source. It is another entity, another being. I would say it is a feminine being. And all signs point to it being Ma'at, aka Lilith. Okay, yeah, right. So, like I was saying on the other video, when I was doing my makeup, a lot of the people in that are supposedly in the Illuminati or the elites and da da da, they're all paying homage to Lilith. Um, yes, all their symbols, all their mock sacrifices are to Lilith. Hmm. That's because that's what it is. That's what they do it to. Because you know how they say the powers that be are being ran by a higher, perhaps alien, whatever, whatever. That's Lilith, right? The owl is a symbol of Lilith. Exactly. Look up Lilith's symbols. One is an owl. Hmm. Yes, interdimensional. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, now think about this. Now you got to really think about it. All of the people that, um, all of the countries that are honoring Lilith, think about all their statues. They have Ma'at, Lilith, same. It's not idols, it's representations of the craft or the goddess. Um, so think about it. You have the Statue of Liberty, you have Lady Justice. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of things like that. Okay. Bye. But yeah, it's not idols. Like, see, that's what closed minds do. They automatically shut down when they start to hear something that they were taught to shut down from. And that's why a lot of people can't get past a certain point. Idols are Our idols are symbols. Symbols are knowledge. Okay. If you can't get past that, go back to church. Okay. I can't help anybody if you're gonna get stuck. Right. Okay. Well, go back to church, Ebony Knowledge. You have Going back to church is going to help you because you need to go back to church because your mind is not open. You really got to go back. And I don't know why you're on this channel anyway. This is for open minds, not shut down, closed minds. Okay. This is not for church people at all. Even the church knows. They're just not going to tell you. Right. So, adios. It's not for everybody, baby. So, let me finish. So, when you see these statues and these symbols, they are honor to Lilith because she was forgotten. She was, you know, erased. And that's not good. Not to her anyway. So they honor her because she is the one that has power over many things. Okay. One is weather. Okay. Another one is who stays and who goes, you know, who lives and who dies. She was demonized and jacked over. Exactly. So that's why you're going to see a lot of the entertainment industry honor her, a lot of the governments around the globe that honor her. And the ones who don't, I'm just going to point it out. I'm just going to point it out. The countries that don't honor her don't thrive. They live in bad conditions. Okay. Um, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. In some form, like in some form or another, that don't honor her. They might honor her under a different name, under a different, but as long as there is a goddess, you know what I'm saying? Or the woman in general, or, those places that don't honor her or women. Okay, there you go. In some form, who created it? Um, Ebony Knowledge, I told you to go back to church. This ain't for you. Go get your Bible and read that. Okay, all of your answers are in there. Have fun. Bye. So as far as this is, yeah, y'all have to go read her story. Even in the Bible, it says God will kill people at whim with weather. Okay. So why not her? Just because she's a woman? It's all of a sudden evil. See, y'all have double standards. If you could believe God, well, God is a man in the sky, or if there's any man in the sky, I mean, how can that be unless you have a craft to hover in the sky in the heavens, right? So if you're in the sky, you can probably control weather because if you're technologically advanced, you can. So if the God in the Bible, which is supposedly male, doesn't have a problem wiping out whole nations, you don't call that human sacrifice. I'm just saying, right? So that's one thing to think about. Hmm. And True Blood, they would say praise Lilith, exactly. And that's what most of these people are giving praise to. Okay. And if y'all watch my 7-7 video, y'all see as well. But what do I think of the Jezebel energy? What's wrong with it? I don't see anything wrong with it. It's we have free will as humans. Okay. Right. Susie ain't your friend. Exactly. But that's why people honor her. Make That's why people do sacrifices to her. I'm just saying how it is. Doesn't make me good or bad. I'm just telling y'all. And the thing is, like, whether you honor someone or not, whether you agree with them or not, the key is understanding why. That's the key. If you understand why, then you can figure out what it is that you would like to do in this scenario, you know? So acknowledging her, honoring her, to me, honoring her is honoring the woman in general. So honoring yourself as a woman and honoring women in general, to me, is honoring her straight up. Okay. Look, whoever this ratchet chick is on here cursing, um, you gotta go, lady. Don't allow ratchet people up in here. Okay. Yes, you ratchet. Anyways, so just do your research and figure it out. Go back to the corner. Go back to your little pastor's corner church or wherever you live down the street from the store, and bye bye. Yes, I know. Somebody, you need to get up and go to work in the morning. Bye. Don't make me start trolling on the trolls. She is drunk. Yeah, so close-minded. That's why you where you at. Anyway, so yeah, we gotta be aware. You don't have, I mean, like, this doesn't change anything. You just need to be aware of what you're looking at a lot of the times. Hmm. I know. So Let's see. I'm gonna read some of this. She is the chaotic counterpart to Shekinah in the. Yep, 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 yep. She is. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. I think she just represents women in general, the feminine spirit, the divine feminine spirit, and freedom of choice. And if you take that, try to take that away, or if you misrepresent, you know, it's not good. Mhm. Goddess Ashira, of course. Well, she's linked to Lilith, Ishtar, Astarte, Inanna, as well as, yes, they're the same energies. Ma'at. Hmm. How does Lilith tie in with Santa Muerte? Well, if you go back in history, and I said this early on another video right before this one, if you go back into the ancient Mayan version of Santa Muerte, she's Mecticacuatl, and her job was to, she was sacrificed as a child to watch the spirits in the underworld, the bodies of in the underworld, so that the what they call the sky beings could not come and take the bodies. And she, I guess, she slipped up on her job one day, and with Quasi, what's his name? Quasimodo. I'm thinking Quasimodo came and got. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Came and got the body and made hybrids. So there's an alien story within the Santa Muerte, you know, aspect. She was goddess of the underworld to watch over the dead and to also guard. But now that there are hybrid children, she has to watch over all. Okay. So this is tying into the extraterrestrial side of everything. So, mhm, mhm. What's the relationship between those goddesses? Where the sisters, goddesses, this year? I think they were just in different parts of the world, called by different names from different languages. You know, Sumerian to Hebrew to, whatever, whatever. But she was the she was like the goddess. You know, in nature, there's a man and a woman. In religion, in most ancient religions, there were gods and goddesses. But then when Christianity came, they wanted to take out the goddess. Okay, this is what happened in like Mesopotamia, and they wanted to make it only one god, no goddess, woman. And then they started to say women are evil, blah 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 blah. And so that's when everything went left, when they got rid of the goddess out of um, Christianity and all the other religions that are more patriarchal, you know. So yes. Hmm. The first written language was Sumerian, and there was a goddess. So I would have to say, in this go round, yes, she was one of the first goddesses. Hmm. So You dressing as Lilith for Halloween. So yeah, but they tried to sneak her back in by, using Mary, but they never honored Mary as a goddess, you know, just a mere mother. That myth that Lilith is a killer of newborns it goes back to the Rh negative factor and blood type. Um, if you if you're a Rh negative lady and you have conceive a child with a Rh positive man, your body will reject the child if it is Rh positive because those blood types are not supposed to mix. But these days they have a injection called Rogam that will allow you to not reject the child. But back then they didn't have it or they weren't giving it to people, you know. So Lilith is considered to be the Rh negative factor blood type. hmm So that's where that myth comes in, you know. You got to kind of think back because people didn't know all this stuff meant back in the ancient days. So they had to make up myths and stories in order for people that have, in our time to be able to translate or to break down and understand the true story, because they didn't understand the stuff like that back then. They didn't understand medical blood types and all this kind of stuff. But the story is still there and the information is still there. It's just in code or just hidden, you know what I mean? In symbols. But a male horse can impregnate a female donkey. No, they have to have a certain they have to do something with those donkeys too, I've heard. Like they have to give them a certain shot too. I don't know. I'm not into animal breeding. How true is it that Ashira been God's wife? Um, well, if you think about it, when they say God, they just mean someone that came from the heavens or someone that's up high in the heavens. It could be someone in a spacecraft, a ship, whatever. If she was, they might have said she was his wife. It could have been her partner. It could have been, someone who was in charge of the project as well. And when they say wife, people back in the old days didn't understand why a man and a woman would be working as one or together. It could have been she was in charge of this and he was in charge of that, as far as the Earth experiment or whatever is concerned. They might not have ever been married. That's why she wouldn't try to do what he was trying to tell her to do. So if they were married, it didn't really matter because they were both supposed to be in there. They were supposed to get credit. Imagine if you were a scientist and you had if imagine that movie Avatar. And do you remember Sigourney Weaver, her part? She was in charge of the whole operation. And the other dude was like, no, let's do this. We're going to go over your head. That's the story right there. That's the story. And she did all the work. She wanted stuff to work out. She was trying to make it happen. And then that greedy dude was like, forget her, whatever, whatever. If you are a scientist and you are a female scientist and somebody just overlooked all of your accomplishments and work, and now you have authority and say over what can happen here and there above the whole planet, you know, and all of your credit was taken and given to some dude, I mean, how would you act? So yeah, it's kind of like that movie. So, do you believe in demigods exist? Demigods are what would be just like what people below the scientists. Yeah. These are beings that people called gods because they were technologically advanced. There. Yes. Well, people can genetically engineer beings. It, advanced people, yes. Hmm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hmm. So that's the story, I think. They weren't, I don't think they were married. I think they were just, working together on this Earth project, and she didn't get her credit. And she came down to work hands on, and that the man was trying to take charge. And she was like, I know you lying. And she probably went and got rid of all of them. And now she's running things. That's all I think. But hey, I think if we know the true story and understand what really happened, because they keep telling us over and over in Hollywood, they keep telling us, in all these movies, they keep telling us, but we won't put it together. So I think that's why we honor a lot of things that we don't understand, and what we're really honoring is the divine feminine, or her, my aunt Lilith, Ishtar, whatever y'all want to call her, the goddess, the mother, the mothership. So that's what I feel like. And I feel like people will say, oh, they're worshiping Satan. Oh, that's Illuminati. But all of them are worshiping the same thing. If you are working in certain, if you're worshiping any goddess that came out the sky, that's who you're worshiping. Not really worshiping, but that's who you're honoring. That's who you're paying honor to. If you are um, working with any goddess figure that is of another realm or came out of the sky, that's basically her energy. Hmm. 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 Right. Can certain humans be connected to certain gods? I really, okay, if you want to call them gods and goddesses, that's what the ancient people call them because they didn't know any better. But I would call them advanced beings. So if you are a genetic hybrid between a human on Earth and an advanced being, yes, you can be related. Hmm. Yeah, but the stories in the Bible, they're metaphor for genetic experiments, for genetic engineering, for conscious, um, just like on the movie Avatar, putting your consciousness into another body, into animating a body with your consciousness. It's almost like downloading um, a program with your consciousness in it into a living body. That's all it is. They have advanced technology. And if you're not, able to understand that, that's why the stories are put in metaphor, because eventually people are going to start laughing at those stories as they become more evolved. Okay. People are going to start laughing at biblical stories and knowing that it's not to be taken literally. And then they're going to start to try to figure out, oh, is this a code? Just like I did with the Michael Jackson song. After many years of listening to Remember the Time, you know, I knew that brr, dot, 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 brr, dot, 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 it's not there just because. I knew it had some other meaning to it. I know we can't just be that silly. I know he wasn't the first person to put that in his song and, besides trap music. So I started thinking that's exactly why they put these stories here and understand how silly they will sound to evolved people. And then those evolved people will then start to ask questions, which will lead them to starting to decode those metaphors. Okay, so it's there for a purpose. Yes, it's not literal. No, they're mixing truth with lie. You should be able to be discerning against truth and lies. Yes, and then once you really understand what you're doing, it's easier from there. Yes, certain parts of the Bible are from the Emerald Tablets. Correct. That's right. Rich people are trying to do that now. Y'all remember that movie Get Out when they were getting ready to switch that person's consciousness into that dude's body? Same thing, you know. So it's very possible if you have that technology. I mean, think about artificial intelligence. If a computer studied you long enough and could predict everything you would do, say, da da da, they could download a version of your consciousness and create a being that would walk, talk, act like you, make decisions like you based on your thoughts. Just like they do in Facebook, whenever you search something, click on something, it's learning you. Okay. So every time you're online, you click on something, it's learning what you like, what you're interested in, what you're researching, all that kind of stuff. It's gathering information, you know. Every time you use your phone, it's gathering information on you. Everything is gathering information on you. Okay. And when your consciousness is able to be downloaded, um, they even did it on that movie, I mean, on that show on Netflix, Hemlock Grove. Yes. If they're able to download your consciousness, you know, and insert it into another being, then what? Mhm. And do you remember when I was showing you on the 777 video when they were hypnotizing those people like they did in Get Out and suppressing that person um, into the dark place, to the sunken place? hmm So who knows? We don't know everything. Some people do. Some people know more than we do. And in fact, we're probably just scratching the surface. Because I was on Pinterest and I saw drawings of all of this in detail of some artist. Let me see if I can find his name. And it just tells the story, but in code and drawings. It's like his last name was Martin, David Martin, or let me see. I think that's his name. Hope that was what it was. Try to remember. Yes, it's David. I don't know how I remembered that. It must be the drops. Look up David Martin drawings and look at his drawings. The ones that look with the pyramids and stuff in them. He's telling you. It's crazy. And he doesn't explain any of this stuff. He just draws it. And it tells that story. The pyramids, the UFOs. the flying goddess, Lilith. Look, I'm going to show you. Oh man, where'd it go? His name is artist David Martin Diaz. And he has pictures of Santa Muerte as well. So y'all can see. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? Look at these. Let's see. Can I get that bigger? Oh man. Well, look. So look at this. Let me see. There's just all these weird. Look at this. And there was one with the goddess, the flying goddess. Look at this. Look at that. It's crazy. And I didn't look up his name. I looked up Lilith, not this person's name. And his art pops up. See? So yeah. Go check out his art. It's crazy. He tells stories in his photos. And I can't even like get into it because they're like alchemy drawings. Back in the old days when they used to draw those alchemy pictures, that's exactly what his art is like. And I just discovered him last night, and I was like, wow, he knows things. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think Oshun is also a version because what she's on the waters, right? And supposedly, Atlantis was on the waters. She could control weather, right? Mm-hmm. See? Did she have many husbands? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and I believe Leonardo da Vinci was also shown, or he was one of these beings, or shown these things as well, because all his story, he says he was in a cave. He spent 2 years studying, and then he came back and started using mirror code and advanced technology using X-ray, like where you can't see and cloak, using certain kind of paints to cloak hidden meanings in his paintings. He came back knowing that, and Lilith is associated with the caves and mirrors. So yes, taken and returned exactly with all this modern technology in his mind, being able to draw it out. So, hmm hmm wow. Hey, kitty. Anyway, so y'all check out his drawings. Ooh, he has one called Dark Matter, and there is an owl on it. Wait, let me see. And a snake. That's Lilith's symbols. Snake and an owl. This is Dark Matter. And see, has the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. Uh-huh. I like this one. Let me see. It's a tattoo. I don't know if he drew this, but let me go back and see. Hey, kitty. Where was that? Did you draw that? I don't know, but his artwork is awesome. Like I would frame it and hang it. Some of it. Some of it. Hmm. Wow. Y'all look at this. That's some deep thinking. Look at this. I would like to talk to that person. The artist name is David Martin Diaz. No, Daniel Martin Diaz. I'm sorry. Let me type it. I was putting in the wrong name. Okay. Stuff is pretty deep. Like I would have to sit down. Like I know he thinks deep. Finally. Hmm. Wow. Also, there's another video series that y'all can check out. And this guy, he's really smart and he can decode stuff too. I don't know if he's decoding it 100% correct, but most of it seems correct. I think his name is something Barry. I've been posting some of his videos in my group. Hold on, let me look it up. His name. Okay, David Barry. Hmm. Okay, his name is Damon T. Berry, and he has a series on YouTube. And I think you can buy his DVDs too. I'm gonna put his name. He has a whole series called The Knowledge of the Forever Time, and he breaks down a lot of stuff too on YouTube. But his videos are more like talking with pictures. You don't see his face or anything. It's like a film, so it's entertaining. Yeah. So there's something for y'all to go watch. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Um, and I would love to know what goes on in his head exactly. I would love to too. But I need to. Mhm. I would like to see that. But y'all understand that I've been on this path forever, right? And I will keep evolving. And so if you feel like I'm going over your head or going in a whole nother direction, it's because that's where I have to go. I can't stay stuck or, you know, still believe in things that I know too much to believe in now, or still practice things that no longer make sense to me anymore. So I'm sorry, but I have to move forward. Um, but like I said, all my old videos are there. We all go through certain phases and we all go and change and grow. But all my old videos are there. If you all have any type of questions, go to my playlists. I have spells. I have dark energy videos. I have DIY stuff. I got live. I have everything. So just go and check it out. If you are still like, wanting to know spell information or stuff like that, all of that stuff is there that I had to offer. Hmm. In Trinidad, they call her Sokoyant. Cool. Mhm. I don't have anyone else who is interested in these subjects, so thanks. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad there's more people that like it. Yeah, things are always going to keep changing. Nothing is going to stay the same. It's going to just keep moving. So that's why you Hey, kitty. Yeah, higher and higher. Hmm. And I have to think, this person, that Daniel Martin Diaz, already know he's probably way beyond us and whatever he's doing mentally. I mean, he has to be with those drawings. So there are people on all different levels, but they're not stuck and they keep growing, you know. And that's the most important thing, is to not have that closed mind so that you can't grow. If your cup is already full, you can't. No one can pour more into it. Okay. So that's why a lot of the people and the trolls that come in here and say other things, they're just very close minded, and that's why they're stuck where they are. Hmm. Yeah, he does have to be an alchemist. Mhm. He knows a lot just by those pictures. I could just stare at him all day and make stories from him. Like, what is this? What account the number of things that he has in them and why and da 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 da. I'll stay up all night if I don't turn this off. Right. So what is this? I'm gonna follow that artist. And he keeps drawing this whale with a crown on it with branches. I'm wondering what this is. This is like getting my attention. Like in the Bible, in the story, it talks about a whale that swallowed Jonah. Could have been a submarine. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm. A whale isn't rich man. No, the whale is, I think, because he's drawing stuff pertaining to the ancient times and alchemy and things like that. So could represent a submarine. Uh-huh. Mm. He's indicating that the bubonic plague was spread on purpose. Hmm. And some of these, yeah, biological. Oh, here's a picture of Adam and Eve in the spaceship. Oh my God, look, y'all. Y'all see? Hmm. So this raindrops, I'm seeing a lot of raindrops, okay? And this raindrop thing keeps appearing, and I keep wondering what that means because I've heard it in some songs before by Jay-Z. What are the raindrops? Is it dark matter, dark energy? What is it? Yeah, because in that one song, on to the next one, he says, "Me, I'm dodging raindrops, meaning I'm on vacay, chilling on a big yacht." And then the song "Umbrella" by Rihanna. You could stand under my umbrella. No, it's something else because it keeps showing up, and it's now one in this one it's mixed with blood, and this one it's just raindrops. Hmm, don't know. Gotta figure that out. That's a mystery to me. And in the raindrops are some weird looking. seeds or bugs. Seeds and bugs. They're seeding the earth. Yes, with yeah, because look, if you look, sorry, y'all. There's bugs and raindrop mixed together. So that means they're seeding the earth with organisms. Or I wouldn't say invasion, I say they're seeding the earth. Semen seeding the earth. Because y'all in the ground, the raindrops are planting themselves. Souls, procreation. Okay, let me see this one. This one has oh shoot. Okay, so this one has Jesus on it with blood, missiles, and oh my gosh, and a UFO. I don't know. That looks mhm. And that one's a little violent. Y'all see? And then there's missiles down there. Oh, well, I have a lot of paintings to look at now. Wait. Rebirth, death, destruction. Yeah. There's flowers and there's skulls and there's flowers growing out of the skulls. There's blood being dropped and blood being shed, planes going up, missiles going down. Yes. And then it says, who do you trust? So yes, I would say, and all the planes, which are like souls or whatever, are going up to the spaceship. Time to build that bunker. No, I don't think it's about. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about the cycle of life. Hmm. Hmm. It's some deep stuff, and I think, what is this? Even the old alchemy drawings point to the same thing. But see, there's a craft in the sky. Ooh, sorry. So, yeah. All right. Well, I'll do more research and I'll get back with y'all. Ooh, what's this? I wish that I wish he had like an explanation for each painting, but he doesn't. Mm. I will. I'll look it up. You listen to Rihanna's song "Umbrella" and Lilith's words for her followers to go listen. Y'all, sure, do you think there's another world just like ours with people, cars, and I think there's alternate realities. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think Rihanna, when she made that song, that was her entry into, you know, honoring Lilith, because that album was Good Girl Gone Bad. Uh-huh. Hmm. So I'm gonna look at these pictures and try to figure out what this person is trying to tell us, because it's obvious he knows some stuff. There are brief explanations. Okay, I need to look at it because when I look at it on my computer, it's hard to see. Let me look. Save to parallel dimensions. Hmm. Hmm. All right, y'all. Yep, she went up from there. Exactly. They said that song was originally written for Britney Spears, but she turned it down. Hmm. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go because it's been a long time. We've been on here forever. If you're understanding dark energy, that's what Rihanna did. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think most of Hollywood and the entertainment industry honor Lilith first. Yeah, they did. And like I said, if they're not RH negative, they got to make a sacrifice to show their loyalty. Mhm. Like, mhm. Even if they are, they still do and have to be part of the rituals too. Some of them. Hmm. Well, I'll get into that later. I have not been researching that, but I know one thing. They do, some of them do make sacrifices or sacrifice. I don't even want to talk about it because that's going into conspiracy. But y'all remember that Ariana Grande thing where she had that explosion on at her concert? I think, yeah. Mhm. I think a lot of people, if they're like, if they're not willing to sacrifice one family member, maybe they're now given the option to sacrifice lots of people. Mhm. Who knows? Everything is part of the dark energy. Everything came out of the darkness. Hmm. Right. You wrote a fictitious book covering the topics I discussed tonight. Would you be willing to read it? Is it long? Is it on an ebook? Is it on audiobook? Is it long? It's not long. Oh. You should put it on. You should put it on YouTube and read it as a story and flash pictures. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. Story time. Yeah. So, and dark energy is going to be the keys in order, like how you manifest and things like that. And I think a lot of people understand this in the entertainment industry as well, but they also always honor a goddess, some type of goddess. That's why in all before the movies come on, you see that Columbia statue of the lady or the flying horse, the wings. Um, a lot of Hollywood honors goddesses, and due to that reason. Mhm. And even the people that you would never think would do such things have done it. You know, even though they knew about certain things, they made sacrifices, and they just seem so nice and sweet. Everything has been planned. Everything. Yep. Like people could never imagine that someone would like MJ would know something and not try to prevent it or whatever because it's beyond him anyway. But or that Bruno Mars would have done such a thing. But it is what it is. Mhm. Is it a form of corruption of the divine feminine? No, it is not the corruption. There is no corruption of the divine feminine. It's just the divine feminine is not being honored. That in itself is corruption. It's almost like you ever heard of the ones that say no, you'll hear from no more. She was like, oh, right. What Lauren Hill was like, no. Mhm. Which is why her career ended. Well, well, think about it. Like, okay, I love Lauren Hill, but every time I listen to that old album she had, I would get upset. Hmm. Um, I mean, why would I get upset? Because the lyrics. I'm talking about the miseducation of Lauren Hill. It was pick me lyrics, exactly. That was the wrong energy she put out. That was straight up wrong energy. And even though the songs were good, the message was bad. I don't think MJ was sacrificed at all. I think he, yeah, I think he's still here. Um, Also, yeah, all that her message was the very opposite of a Lilith type mentality. Okay, so maybe they were trying to get her to change her message. I don't know. She was telling women to stand in their power, listen again. Not on all of the songs. Like on some songs, she was being super weak. You know, I just say, just go back and listen. Um, that one song, care for me. Why don't you care for me? Why don't you love me? You know, begging basically a man. Then she went crazy over her husband. You know, it was just not something that we would want like to see as women that don't feel like that type of behavior is okay. That's all. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think you wondered if Beyonce bought a church in NOLA. She has deep roots in NOLA. Yeah, but they turned into a house, and they filmed that whole Lemonade thing, some of it in there. But yeah, she might be dumping him, but look at the whole album. Like on one half of the album, she's begging him. Other half, you know, it's just to me, most of her songs were pick me songs, even though some of them were okay. But a lot of that energy was like, I like the songs, good melody, good voice, all of that. Message, not so good. Mhm. Mary J. Yep. But she changed. She had to change her music. Hmm. Ashanti, she can't make no music anymore. She's out of there. Right. Missy Elliott. Hmm. That's why I love Miss Erica Badu. Mhm. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, you can't put out those weak messages. They're not gonna fly anymore. Monica made pick me music too. The whole '90s was pick me central, and then look what happened in 2001. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Mhm. Did you get the elixir today? All right. Let me know how it works for you. Hmm. But look at all the popular music of today and what the women are singing about and how they're blowing up, and how they're getting all the recognition and whatever. It's because the message is what is being allowed. Yeah. She wants women to get their power back. Right. Not chasing behind a dude. Yes. It's the exact opposite of what she represents. Hmm. Hmm. There's no music today, only demonic noise. Uh-huh. Hmm. Right. You can say, take your power back, or if you have to be naked to do it, what power do you really have? What? You were born naked? I mean, I don't think the human body is something to be ashamed of. I mean, if that's what women have to do to get attention on the stage, use your feminine energy to get what you need. I don't think it's cool to walk around naked because that's dangerous. But if you're up on a stage and you're entertaining in a whatever outfit that's skimpy, I feel that that is empowering herself in her femininity. That's what I feel. And I feel also like since she can do that, like I know you, I think Beyonce, a lot of the people are starting to be half naked. Yeah, they do it in dance. They have leotards. I don't think it's I think it's the power that the female body commands, you know? Mhm. Right, right. I think it's the power of the female form. That's it. Nothing more. Mhm. Right. You're gonna get more people following you than not, than if you're fully clothed versus if you're showing a little skin. That's just, but that is just to get people in to see your message or get your message, you know, because she's married. You know. Hmm. Hmm. Beyonce says she drinks her jewelry and she's a Martian. That means she's ingesting gold, monatomic gold, and platinum, and the stuff that's in the elixir. Mhm. I think even on that Jay Z song, it says, "My wife in the kitchen feeding the kids liquid gold." Hmm. I mean, you don't really have to be very talented as long as you could grab the attention of many and be a large influence on the masses, then you get that position. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. There are more talented people out here in the world that will never see fame. But yeah, mhm, right. I knew you'd get it. Yeah, you knew I would. Mhm. Liquid gold is monatomic gold is gold mineral in liquid that you can ingest. Yeah, I be up late, don't I? I'm up every night late. But when the kids start back school, I will be able to won't be able to. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. They have auto tune now. You don't really have to be talented to be famous anymore. Not super talented anyway. You know, they're more looking for the allure because now everything is on television. Now everything is in pictures. Now you have to have a video to go with your song. A long time ago, people would listen to the radio and they're not whenever someone want to hear a song now, they just get on YouTube. So they want to see as well as hear. So when you're getting that combination of demand, you need something to look at as well as listen to at the same time. So you might have had wonderful singers back in the old days, and you probably may have never known what they look like, except for like a small picture on the album, whatever, that you would probably never look at. Now you have to see this person all the time. So the influence of this person is going to go further the more you can see them because they become what they call iconic. Okay. When you become an icon, you have more influence. Hmm. Mhm. Okay, Lizzie J, I'll catch you on the mothership, girl. I'll see you there. How you doing? You're a bad witch. Someone says they were a bad witch. Brennan, who Beyonce lost a lot of weight, but nobody cared. Nobody cared. Oh, Jennifer Hudson. Oh yeah. I kind of feel bad for her because I think her window of opportunity slipped by her. Mhm. Mhm. I think she should have gone more into acting because, like, yeah, I think she should have gone more into acting. Oh well, maybe she'll make a comeback in the future. You never know. Mhm. You never know. She might have something in store. Mhm. Check out the Alchemist Cookbook on Hulu. I don't have Hulu. No, I have Netflix. Mhm. You said no, she's over. Sorry. Well, she might be in a movie. I think she might make a comeback as an actress, if anything. Mhm. Or is she gonna be just like Effie White and Dreamgirls? Gonna disappear, come back. Hmm. Right. She sacrificed her family for nothing. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime as well. What? The ship better have pecan gold Haagen Dazs. That reminds me of the Erica Badu song, "On and On." The mothership can't save you, so your ass is gonna get in. You remember that? We are made in his vision, so call us by our names. Our intellect is what was it? Erica was dropping mad info. We were made in his image. We were made in his image. Then call us by our names. Most intellects do not believe in God, but they fear us just the same. Ooh, on and on, on and on. The cipher keeps spinning like a rolling stone. Ah, in the water. You haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Formation. Ooh, I gotta go relook at Formation now. I might see some new stuff. Mhm. Mhm. Let's see. Erica. I think Erica knows. That's why she won't get married again. That's why she. Um, I'm born out of water with $3.06. Hey, you may laugh because you did not do your math. Mhm. Now one, two, three. The world keeps turning. Oh, what a day! What a day! What a day! Yeah. Mhm. That means it keeps going on and on. Rebirth. Mhm. Mental hospitals. Why do patients act crazy during the full moon? The meds ain't gonna be working because their brain chemistry is gonna be all messed up because of the gravitational full pull of the full moon. Right? You about to go listen to Erica Badu? Erica had those men under a spell. You know why? Because she's using that Lilith energy. That's her secret. That's that goddess energy going. Mhm. Mhm. What does the number seven mean? Master. It's a master number. Mhm. Ooh, I found a picture. Number nine means complete. Yes. Hmm. Her house is beautiful. Hmm. I am Pisces. Hmm. Yes. What if you keep saying 666? Look it up. Read what it means. I'm Googling something. Shout out to the water signs. Hmm. This was on my birthday. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go do some research, and I'm gonna go off of here because I've been on here too long. Mhm. But y'all have fun. And you know, y'all don't have to agree with everything I say. I'm not gonna talk about this stuff all the time. I'll be talking about some other stuff too. So I just want to share with you guys what I know, what I think about the moon, and about other stuff too. But I will still be talking about other stuff, so don't worry. Because I still have that information and that knowledge, so I can share it still. Hmm. If I look it up, you'll get that Illuminati stuff. Well, just look up the number six first, and then look up 666, and then ask. But look up the spiritual meaning of it, not the biblical meaning, the numerology meaning. Hmm. Thanks for keeping you company while sewing. What are you making? You making clothes? You feel like something is going to happen, like on that show Preacher? I've only seen a couple of episodes of that. I need to watch more. I forgot about that show. Hmm. Hmm. What do you do if a guy sends you a pic of another girl giving him performing fellatio on him? Ask him if that's his mama. I don't know, child. You know me, I'm a troll to the end. I will be rude and obnoxious. Okay. I would be offended first off. First, I would be offended. Then I would troll him. Then I would block him. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, Leo season. Layla's a Leo. Her birthday's coming up. I'm taking her to eat somewhere that she really wants to go eat tomorrow. Then I'm having a little party at the house. I'm taking her to the water park. I'm taking her shopping. So I've got a lot of stuff to do with her. She's gonna be 11. Yay! Yeah, she's very smart and mature, Layla. Do I have any oils on my Etsy store? I have the elixir that I keep telling you guys about. That will. It's supposed to help develop your higher consciousness. Yeah, your pineal gland, your thalamus gland. I'm looking at this old magazine. I heard that. Dang, these people not aged. Hmm. You got your elixir today. All right. You need some do as you say oil. Mhm. Um, Saint Martha oil is the same thing. So if you can find Saint Martha oil, it's the same. Used for the same thing. Okay. All right, y'all. It should come soon. I'm gonna put in the other orders tonight. That if y'all ordered today, or if y'all ordered all today, I'm gonna put in the orders now. Hmm. So I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.